Hello student, I am Swarajam, contract lecturer in ECE, GPT, Nizamabad. So let us going to recollect whatever the topics we are discussed in the last lecture. So we have discussed the RMS value of half-wave rectifier, average value of output current, ripple factor of half-wave rectifier, efficiency of half-wave rectifier, advantages and disadvantages of half-wave rectifier. So let's have some equations about this one. RMS value of half-wave rectifier. It is also called as a effective value of output current, which is IRMS is equal to IM by 2. And average value of output current are the DC current. That is called IDC is equal to IM by 5. Or else we can be get the output voltage or the average value of output voltage VDC is equal to VM by 5. And the ripple factor. So this ripple factor is defined as a ratio of RMS value of DC component of output to the average DC component of the output. So that gamma is the IRMS by IDC or VRMS by VDC. For the half-wave rectifier, the ripple factor is 1.21 for the half-wave rectifier. And the efficiency of the half-wave rectifier is the DC output power, the ratio of DC output power to the AC input power. That is, the 40.6 percentage is the efficiency of the half-wave rectifier. So, and we discuss the advantages and disadvantages. And on completion of this period, today in today's lecture, we would be able to know construction and working of full wave rectifier, RMS value of full wave rectifier, average value of output current, ripple factor of full wave rectifier, efficiency of full wave rectifier, and advantages and disadvantages of full wave rectifier. That means whatever we are discussed in the last lectures are similarly the same topics we are going to discuss about the same values for the full wave rectifiers. So let us discuss what is full wave rectifier. Full wave rectifier is a type of rectifier which converts alternating current or voltage into a pulsating direct current or voltage during both half cycles of the applied input voltage. But whereas in the half wave rectifier, only during the positive half cycle we are getting, and during the negative half cycle there will be no output. But in the full wave rectifier, during the entire applied input voltage, during the both half cycles of the input voltage, and during the positive and the negative half cycles, we will be getting the altern into the direct current will be applied into converted into the DC. This rectifier acts as a heart of the circuitry which allows the sensors to attach the RCX in either polarity. So full wave rectifiers may further be classified into two categories depending upon the nature of the circuit connections. So the way we are connecting the circuit, these full wave rectifiers are classified into the two types. They are center tapped full wave rectifiers and bridge full wave rectifiers. So these are the two types of the full wave rectifiers depending on the constructions or the circuit connections. So let us discuss about the first center tap full wave rectifier. So this is the circuit diagram for the center tap full wave rectifier. So here the primary winding of the transformer is connected to the AC main supply of single phase AC supply 230 volts 50 Hz frequency, and the secondary winding of the transformer is connected is a center tapped, and one end is connected to the first one diode and another end is connected to the second diode. So here this input voltage is divided by using the center tapping. The load is connected in between the transformer windings. So here let us discuss the circuit connections. The center tap full wave rectifier circuit is shown in figure C. So in order to rectify both the half cycles of AC input. Two diodes are used in the circuit. So in the half wave rectifier, only one diode is used. So only that is only one cycle only it will be rectified. But in order to rectify the both the cycles, positive and negative cycles, we are using the two diodes. So a center tapped secondary winding AB is used with two diodes such that diode D1 utilizes the AC voltage appearing across the upper half of the secondary winding 0A for rectification, while diode D2 uses the lower half winding 0B. So here this is the 0 value. This upper diode will be conducting the upper half cycles, and this is 0 to B. This is the diode is conducting during the lower half cycles. Okay. So a center tapped secondary winding AB is used with two diodes such that diode D1 utilizes the AC voltage appearing across the upper half of the secondary winding 0 to A for rectification, while diode D2 uses the lower half winding 0 to B for rectification. So let us discuss the working of this center tapped full wave rectifier. During the case 1, during the positive half cycle of AC input voltage, end A is positive with respect to the earth and end B is negative. So here during the positive half cycle, so this in the half wave rectifier, during the positive cycle end A is positive with respect to B, we discussed. Here during the positive half cycle, the end A is positive with respect to the earth and end B is negative here. So during this one positive cycle, this A is positive with respect to this ground, but here B is negative with respect to this ground. This is the picture of the secondary center tap transformer. This is the transformer is a center tap transformer. So here it is having A is the positive with respect to this ground and B is negative with respect to the ground during the positive half cycle. So this makes the diode D1 forward bias and diode D2 reverse bias. So here this diode will be conduct and this diode will be reverse bias. So this will be on and closed circuit, and this will be off and this will be open circuit. So there will be no movement of flowing current through this diode, but here this is movement of current flowing through the closed path. So therefore the diode D1 conducts and the diode D2 does not conducting. The conventional current flows through the diode D1, load resistance RL and upper half of the secondary winding 0A as shown by the dotted arrows. Here this conventional current, this is the direction of the current flowing through this diode and RL and upper part of the secondary winding. So this is in the direction of the current flowing is in the clockwise direction, that is IL1, that is the load 1 due to the D1 conductance. And the during the case 2, let us discuss the working of center tapped full wave rectifier in the case 2 condition. So during the negative half cycle of AC input voltage, end A is negative with respect to the earth and end B is positive. This makes the diode D2 is forward biased and diode D1 is reverse biased. Therefore, diode D2 conducts and the diode D1 does not conducting. The conventional current flows through the diode D2, load resistor RL and lower half of secondary winding 0B as shown in by the solid arrows. Here it is showing here, this ones. During the negative half cycle of this input voltage, that this end transformer end B is positive with respect to 0 and this end A is negative with respect to this 0. So here this diode D2 will be forward biased and it will be conducts. Here the diode D1 is reverse biased and it will be open circuit. So there will be no flow of current in this D1. So there will be no current in the circuit during the negative half cycle. But when it is forward bias during the negative half cycle, so the current will be flows in this clockwise direction through the RL, D2 and this lower part of the secondary winding. So this is a closed path. So the current will be flowing in the reverse direction of this first clock cycle. See here in the first upper part of this one, when diode D1 is conducting, the current direction is showing by the some dotted lines. This is in the clockwise directions. But whereas in the reverse bias direction, in the D2, whenever D2 is conducting during the negative half cycle, so this current flowing direction is by showing by the solid line in which the it is anti-clockwise direction. So its current is flowing through the D2, RL and secondary winding of B transformer. So here case 1 is case 2. So the conventional current flows through the diode D2, load RL and lower half of secondary winding 0B as shown by the solid arrows. So these are the two conditions where the current is flowing to the transfer full wave rectifier during the positive half cycle from the top of the circuit, that is D1 conducts, current is flowing in the D1 RL and upper part of the secondary winding, and during the negative half cycle current is flowing through the diode D2 and RL and lower part of the secondary winding, so in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is the waveforms drawing for the full wave rectifier. So this first sinusoidal wave signal is shows the input signals of 230 volts, one single phase, 50 Hz frequency supply voltage. So here during this positive half cycle, that is 0 to pi. So the 0 to pi, this output of D1 is only conducts. So 0 to pi and 2 pi to 3 pi, these are the positive period cycles. So these during these periods only diode D1 will conducts and D2 will be reverse bias. So we will get the output is only this type of this output. So here in the output of diode D1 is this period 0 to pi and 2 pi to 3 pi. But during the negative half cycle, that is pi to 2 pi and 3 pi to 4 pi, the diode D2 will be conducts and D1 will be reverse bias. So we will get only the negative half cycles at the output. So that is output is this pi to 2 pi and 3 pi to 2 pi. But this current will be in the magnitude is Vm only. That is positive magnitude only. Even it is reverse bias, even it is a forward bias, even though it is a negative peak, negative supply, you will get the positive output only. So this total output is the sum of these two outputs, that is diode output of diode D1 plus output of diode D2. So we will get entirely 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi in the pulsating DC output. So that is the output of full wave center tapped full wave rectifier. So in the case 3, so we have the case 3, the figure this 5.2F, that is the circuit waveforms. It may be seen that the current in the load resistor RL is in the same direction for both the half cycle of the input AC voltage. So from this circuit diagram here it is the both the half cycles during the positive and negative half cycle, the current is same in the both the directions. So there is no alternating. Therefore, the DC is obtained across the load resistor RL. So here that means we are getting the DC across the load RL. So let us discuss the whatever we discussed for the half wave rectifier. The same values we should be required for this full wave rectifier also. So this RMS value, by the definition, the RMS value of load current is given by IRMS is equal to square root of 1 by pi 0 to pi IL square d theta. So IRMS is equal to IL is equal to, we know that Im into sin theta. Substituting the value in this one, Im sin theta whole square d theta. So that equation is, we are written here, it is Im square by pi 0 to pi sin square theta d theta. So sin square theta can be written as 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2 into d theta. So 2 is taking out from this integral. So Im square by 2 pi and integral of 0 to pi into 1 into d theta minus 0 to pi cos 2 theta d theta. So cos 2 theta d theta is equal to 0. So you will get Im square 2 pi 0 to pi. So that is pi will be cancelled. You will get Im by root 2. So whereas for the half wave rectifier, we got IRMS is equal to Im by 2. Isn't it? But here the full wave rectifier, we are getting Im by root 2. And DC or average value of output current. So the average DC current over 1/2 cycle is given by. So whatever you are getting, this one is positive half cycle and negative half cycle is equivalent. So we are taking only the one period only. That is 0 to pi only we are considering it. So IDC is equal to 1 by pi into IL d theta. So IDC is equal to 1 by pi into integral of 0 to pi Im sin theta d theta. So integration of Im is taking out common, that is constant value. So Im by pi into sin theta integral is cos theta. Substituting these values pi and 0 as the limits. So we will get Im by pi into minus cos pi minus of minus cos 0. So you will get IDC is equal to 2 Im by pi. But whereas in the half wave rectifier, that is Im by pi. And VDC, in the half wave rectifier, we got the Vm by pi. Here, VDC is equal to 2 Vm by pi. Similarly, the DC or the average value of output voltage across the load is given by VDC is equal to V average is equal to IDC into RL. That is VDC. V means I into RL. So we are taking the VDC means we are taking the IDC into RL. So IDC is equal, we got that in the equation in the just now. That is IDC is equal to 2m by pi into RL. So here, here 2Im, this Im is called, we can be written Vm by 2 Vm by pi into RL, RA plus RL. That is Im is equal to Vm by RA plus RL. That is the equation we already have. So that is 2 Vm by pi into taking the common term RL. So you can write 1 by 1 plus RF by RF into RL. So RL will be cancelled. So if the RF by RL value is much less than, since this value is much less than, then VDC into RV average is equal to 2 Vm by pi. Similarly, whatever we are getting IDC is equal to Im by pi and VDC is equal to 2 Vm by pi. Ripple factor for full wave rectifiers. So for full wave rectifiers, we got IRMS is equal to Im by root 2 and the IDC is equal to 2Im by pi. Just now we have derived this one. So we have the definition for this one gamma ripple factor is a standard equation for all the rectifiers we have discussed in the last lectures. That is root of IRMS by IDC whole square minus 1. That is the equation is applicable for all the rectifiers. So substituting that IRMS value in this one, that is Im by root 2 and IDC is equal to 2Im by pi. We are substitute the equation in the equation. So you will get pi by, just simplifying this equation, Im by 2 root 2 into 2Im. So this Im will be cancelled. Pi by 2 root 2 into whole square. Pi by 2 root 2 into whole square minus 1. So this one, pi square divided by 4 into 2, 8 minus 1. So after calculating this one, you will get root of 0.233. So that the ripple factor is 0.48. That means in the half-wave rectifiers, ripple factor is 1.21 we got. That means 120%, 21 percentage of AC component is present in DC. We discussed. Here, for the full wave rectifier, center top rectifiers, we got the ripple factor is 0.48. That means 48 percentage of AC component is present in the DC. So somewhat is AC component is reduced in the by using the center tapped full wave rectifier. And next one is rectifier efficiency. So we discussed that efficiency is the output power by input power. So in the rectifier output we got DC and the input is we are applying is the AC. So that is DC power, DC output power by AC input power is the definition for the efficiency. So here the DC output power is equal to PDC IDC square into RL. So IDC we got 2 Im by pi. So 2 Im by pi whole square into RL. You will get 4 Im square by pi square into RL. And AC input power PAC. So you have IRM square into RF plus RL. So IRMS is equal to Im by root 2. So Im by root 2 whole square into RF plus RL. So you get Im square by 2 into RF plus RL. Therefore, the rectifier efficiency is given by PDC by PAC. DC output power by AC input power. So DC output power is 4 Im square pi square into RL by I square M by 2 into RF plus RL. So you will get after simplification this one Im square and Im square will be cancelled and 4 by this 2 will be going out numerator, then we'll get 8 by pi square into RL by RF plus RL. So this 8 by pi square into RF plus RL. We take the common is RL. So RF by RL plus 1 into RL. This RL will be cancelled. So 8 by pi square is equal to that after calculating this value, we will get 0.8106 by RF plus 1 plus RF by RL. So the percentage rectifier efficiency is given by percentage of rectifier. This is normally without percentage. If you consider this one is a percentage, you will get 81.606 percentage of efficiency is improved in the center tapped full wave rectifiers compared to the half wave rectifiers. So in the half wave rectifiers only we are having 40.6. Here 81 percentage of 0.6. So it is increased double. So the rectifier efficiency will be maximum if RF is much less than RL. So for ideal diode, if the forward resistance is 0, from these equations we will get the maximum efficiency when this RF is much less than RL. If you are considering the ideal diode in the center tap pulver rectifiers, if the diode is ideal, then forward resistance is 0. So this entire term will be 0. Then you will get the efficiencies maximum is 81 percentage of 81.06 percentage you will get. And next one is peak inverse voltage. So this peak inverse voltage is the maximum possible voltage across a diode when it is reverse biased. Okay, this is we can be withstand the reverse current. Then only we can say that is a peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage is the maximum possible voltage across a diode when it is reverse biased. Consider the diode D1 is in forward bias, that is conducting, and diode D2 is reverse bias, that is non-conducting. So in this case, a voltage Pm is developed across the load resistor RL. So whenever the diode D1 is conducting and D2 is reverse bias, the voltage is developed across the load is Vm due to the forward biasing of a diode. Now the voltage across the reverse bias diode D2 is the sum of the voltage across the load and the resistor RL and the voltage across the lower half of the secondary transformer VM. Hence, the peak inverse voltage of diode D2 is Vm plus Vm, that is 2Vm. Similarly, the peak inverse voltage of diode D1 is 2Vm. So, what is happening here? It is the voltage Vm is developed across the load resistor RL. Now the voltage across reverse bias diode D2. So you are considering the D2. When D1 is in the first condition, then D1 is forward bias and conducting, and diode D2 is reverse bias, that is non-conducting. So the voltage across the load resistor is Vm. But in the voltage across the diode D2 is the sum of the voltage across the load and the resistor RL and the voltage across the lower half of the secondary transformer Vm. So we are considering the two voltages. So then hence peak inverse voltage of diode D2 is Vm plus Vm. So you will get 2 Vm. Similarly, the peak inverse voltage of diode D1 is also 2 Vm. So, but whereas the peak inverse voltage of diode is in the op-amp rectifier is Vm. So, that is improved in the full wave rectifier, which can be stand in the reverse current. So, here we are discussing the advantages of center tap full wave rectifier. The DC load current in case of full wave rectifier is twice to that in the half wave rectifier. So DC load current IDC is equal in the center tap full wave rectifier is 2 Im by pi. But whereas in the half wave rectifier it is Im by pi. So it is twice to that in half wave rectifier. The rectification efficiency of full wave rectifier is twice to that of half wave rectifier. So in the half wave rectifier is 40.6% efficiency, but whereas in the full wave rectifier 81.06, it's doubled. So it is twice that of the half wave rectifier. And lower ripple factor. So here the ripple factor is in the center tapped full wave rectifier is 0.48, but whereas in the half wave rectifier it is 1.21. So it is decreased in the center tapped full wave rectifier. And easy filtering due to the high ripple frequency. So in the center tapped full wave rectifier, the ripple frequency is doubled. During the positive and negative half cycle, it is conducting and you are getting the DC output at the continuous output. So that means in the half wave rectifier only during the positive half cycle only we are conducting. Negative half cycle there will be no output. So there the ripple frequency is only F. But in the center tapped full wave rectifier, ripple frequency is twice that of the frequency. Why? Because during the positive cycles you are getting output and during the negative half cycle. So the ripple frequency is double. The DC saturation current, the DC saturation of the core is avoided as the current flow through the two halves of the center tapped secondary of the power transformer in opposite direction. Okay. So here the saturation of the core is avoided of the transformer because as the current flows to the two halves of the center tapped secondary of the power transformer in opposite direction. During the first of positive cycle, the current is flowing in the upper of the secondary transformer and the opposite in the negative. In the negative in the secondary, in the lower secondary windings, and opposite upper and lower secondary windings are in the opposite directions. Disadvantages of center tapped full wave rectifier. For the same DC output voltage, the transformer secondary voltage required in full wave rectifier is twice that of the required for half wave rectifier. To get the same DC output, whatever we are to try to get in the half wave rectifier, the transformer secondary voltage required in full wave rectifier is twice that of the required for half wave rectifier. Okay, there we are using Vm. Here we are using the 2Vm. The diodes used must have high peak inverse voltage, that is 2Vm. it is difficult to locate the center tap on the secondary winding. So exactly where we have to provide the tap, center tap in the secondary winding is, it is difficult. So these are the topics we are discuss in this one. So what is we discuss? Full wave rectifiers and classification of these full wave rectifiers and center tapped full wave rectifiers, center tapped full wave rectifier circuit working diagram and IRMS, IDC, peak inverse voltage, ripple factor, efficiency we are discussing. So these are the topics we are covered in this our lectures, that is construction and working of full wave rectifier of center tapped only here. It is we discussed in today's class center tap. RMS value of full wave rectifier. So RMS value of center tapped full wave rectifier IRMS is equal to IM by root 2. But whereas half wave rectifier IM by 2 and IDC, that is 2 Im by pi, or VDC 2 Vm by pi. But whereas for half wave rectifier it is IDC is equal to Im by pi and VDC is equal to Vm by pi. That is center tap full wave rectifier is twice that of the half wave rectifier. And ripple factor of the full wave rectifier is 0.48. That is, if the ripple factor is much less decreased in the full wave rectifier, center type of full wave rectifier, and efficiency is twice that of the half wave rectifier. In the half wave rectifier, we are having the efficiency is 40.6 percentage, whereas in the full wave rectifier, 81.06 percentage is increased. So these are the topics we have discussed in our lecture today. So during this topic, the questions may be have chance to occur in your examination point. The frequently asked questions are: derive the expressions for RMS value of full wave rectifier. Derive the expression for average value of full wave rectifier, and derive the expression for ripple factor of full wave rectifiers. Expressions for this RMS value, average value and ripple factor. So let us discuss some simple questions on these topics. Ripple factor of full wave rectifier is 0.483, 0.383, 0.283, 0.83. So ripple factor of full wave rectifier is 0.48. So we got in the 0.48. So you can take it as the option is 1. Efficiency of the center tapped full wave rectifier is 50 percentage, 46 percentage, 70 percentage, 81.2 percentage. So we got 81.06 percentage. So you can take it as 81.2 percentage. If the input frequency is 50 Hz for a full wave rectifier, the ripple frequency of it would be. So you just now I discussed the ripple frequency means during the positive cycle and during the negative cycle, both the frequencies we are getting in the output. So the ripple frequency of the full wave rectifier is 2f. It is a twice of the half wave rectifier. So half wave rectifier, in half wave rectifier the ripple frequency is f only, but whereas in the full wave rectifier the ripple frequency is 2f. So if the in the question if the input frequency is 50 Hz, then the ripple frequency is 2f, that is 2 into 50, that you will get 100 Hz. So the answer is 100. The maximum efficiency of the half wave rectifier is, so just now we discussed the efficiency of the full wave rectifier is twice of that half wave rectifier is. So here we are getting 25 percentage, 41 percentage, 65 and 85. But in exactly we have the efficiency of the half wave rectifier is 40 percentage, 40.6%. So it is not given in the question. So approximately that is equivalent to 41, 40.6 percentage, 06 percentage. Just you can take it as a 41 percentage. So then option is 2. The ripple factor of half wave rectifier is, So the ripple factor of half wave rectifier is doubles half of the full wave rectifier. Sorry, ripple factor is not half of the full wave rectifier. That is ripple factor of our full wave rectifier is 0.48, but whereas in the ripple factor of half wave rectifier is 1.21 percentage. That is 121 percentage of AC component is present in DC we discussed. So the ripple factor of half wave rectifier is 1.21. Ripple factor equation. IRMS by IDC, IRMS minus IDC, IRMS plus IDC, and IRMS by IDC. So the ripple factor equation is actually we have the equation is square root of IRMS by IDC whole square minus 1. But that is not completely it is not given. So you can be considered IRMS by IDC. Okay. That is in the definition we are having. In the definition we have the ripple factor is defined as the ratio of RMS value of AC component of output to the DC value of component DC average DC component of output. So we have the definition. Average RMS value of AC component of output to the average DC component of the output. So the definition is IRMS by IDC. So the option is 1. In the second next question, in a half wave rectifier, the sine wave input is the sine wave input is 200 sine 300 t, that is Vm sin omega t we are represented here. So 200 is the Vm and omega is the 300, that is maximum amplitude is 200 volts and frequency is equal to 2 pi, omega is equal to 2 pi f. So in this one f is only the 300, 2 into pi into 300 we have to take it. So in a half wave rectifier, the sine wave input is 200 sine 300 t. The average value of output voltage, that is, it is in a half wave rectifier. So that is half wave rectifier. V average is equal to V average is equal to means what is the definition for this V average we have find out in the half wave rectifier is VDC is equal V average is equal to Vm by pi. So here we have given the explanation also. Comparing with the standard equation, that is standard equation is equal to V average or the VDC is equal to Vm by pi. So in this Vm is equal from this equation, from this input voltage, Vm is equal to 200. So here we are having the Vm by pi. So that is 200 by pi. After calculating, I get 63.694. So that option is C. Is the correct answer. And next one is if peak voltage for a half wave rectifier circuit is 5 volts, half wave rectifier peak inverse voltage is 5 volts, and the diode peak voltage, so the maximum voltage, that is a Vm, not peak inverse voltage, and the diode cut-in voltage is 0.7 volts. Then peak inverse voltage on the diode will be, here it is question is asking peak inverse voltage. So the given value is maximum voltage and cut-in voltage is given. So here we have given the explanation also. The peak inverse voltage is the maximum reverse bias voltage that can be appeared across a diode in the given circuit. So that is we have discussed, that is it can withstand a reverse current. If the peak inverse voltage is less than that, this value of breakdown of the diode will occur for a rectifier, that is peak inverse voltage is equal to Vm minus Vd. So then 5 voltage we are having the max amplitude is 5 volts and the cut-in voltage is 0.7. So minus 0.7 you get the 4.3 voltages. That is peak inverse voltage. At this voltage it can be withstand with the reverse current even in the reverse bias. And next one is what rectifier does. What it actually rectifier does. That is converting DC to AC, converting AC to DC, and none of this. So since we are starting from this last lecture and this lecture, we are saying that the rectifier is a device which converts the AC into DC. That is option is second one. So by this today's class is completed. Later in the next class we will discuss about the enter tab. We discuss the next bridge rectifier. We will discuss about the bridge type full wave rectifier.